Welcome to Asheville, North Carolina, home of one of the spiritual vortexes of the United States. Welcome to Rescuers. Yes, you heard me right. We are in Asheville, North Carolina. It is one of the places on the face of the earth in the United States where there is a spiritual vortex. Now, for New Agers, basically what a spiritual vortex is, it's a place where all of the spiritual energy of the world kind of comes together, and it's a place kind of cleansing. Now, for those that are in the New Age, you have to realize that the Earth is a living being. It's Mother Earth, so to speak, and these are places of high energy where they can come to get cleansed, and they can come to cleanse part of the Earth and to gain this energy for themselves. Now, that's why you need to think about, there's all these people that come here. They're Wiccans, witches, New Agers, and rainbows that come here for the purpose of kind of cleansing the Earth and being a part of this whole New Age thing. This isn't a new movement. This is actually something that began thousands of years ago, you know, when they were thinking about all the Hindu philosophy and things like that. That's kind of the chakra points, as in Hindu philosophy and in yoga, things like that. That is what this city and Sedona, Arizona is, and Easter Island and Stonehenge. These are all these spiritual vortices around the world. How this all began in modern time is really from the 60s. The idea, the hippies, the Woodstock idea, the free love, free sex, free everything generation. This generation is looking for something, and so they come to places like Asheville, North Carolina to find something. And in today's show, we're going to show you that they can find something, that there are people that are reaching out to this community. Now, I need to warn you, a lot of this show has been shot in the dark because a lot of the outreach is done in the evening time, and there's a lot of music in the background because this generation is affected by music, and so you'll be hearing a lot of that going on in this program. But stay tuned and find out with me how we can reach this whole different people group, this whole different generation called the Rainbow Family. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Rescuers. Now, do you remember hearing the stories, or maybe you were around when Woodstock took place? The idea of free love, free sex, and rock and roll. Now, you add to that an environmental twist, and you have an idea of what the Rainbow Family is like.
Rainbow, in a nutshell, is heathen idolatry, rampant drug use, and anarchy. It's a counterculture that's just totally alien to what most normal people would think. Unfortunately, it's a place where a lot of youth who rebel against the materialism of this society in which we are, which is wrong in a lot of ways, when they place more value on things than on people. Well, they're sensitive folk, and they rebel against that and think rather that there's more to life. So they go in with an anarchistic mindset. You'll see everything in Rainbow. There'll be Buddhists, there'll be Hare Krishnas, there'll be Maoists and Taoists, and just everybody that you could think of. And there's no rules. It's pretty much every man does as he pleases.
What it found is that the Rainbow are all ages. Those that are your older ones are the hippies from the 60s. The younger ones, well, they're here for the cleansing vortex. They've kind of stepped out of society and decided they're looking for something different. They're looking for something new, and they're literally from all over the country.
Just wandering on the road.
I'm from Georgia, so I was well taken care of, yes. Definitely not. I had everything I needed, not always in abundance, but had all that I needed.
Kentucky, northern Kentucky. So I worked really hard to get into a
prestigious college, and then I realized that I didn't need or want that prestige. I needed to go my own way because I felt like a lot of the teachings I was receiving at school were false, you know, for what I felt. And so I just struck out on my own, and I made my way here.
The Rainbows spend most of their time out in the National Forest, and it's a time of sharing and a time of being together. If you spend time with them and you respect them and ask them what they believe, they'll tell you.
No, it's this universal like love energy that like is sharing with people, and is like everyone can feel it if it's presented in a way that's communicative like this, like bringing people together rather than like setting them apart.
Yeah. I'm a Taoist. I'm a shaman. I'm a Christian, and I'm a Discordian.
Family, human family, love, free food in the woods or in the city.
The question from a Christian perspective is always simply, who is Jesus?
It's the love that's in everyone's heart. Like, it's the love and the light and, you know, God, like energy. It's all kind of interchangeable. Like the word, it's just all words to express the unexpressible, like things that you can't really put into words. And so the word Jesus is like the same thing as love or energy, or just that thing that we all feel.
I'm a friend of Jesus. I'm not a friend of church though, but I don't know, it's just the whole hierarchy thing that I don't really agree with. But I am a friend of Jesus. I believe he was a man of knowledge, a man of understanding of the cosmos, and you know, I believe he could commune with God. And I believe he is the Son of God, just the same as I am the Son of God and you're the Son of God. And
he was a wandering, you know, sage and mystic,
I started it up here,
spreading the good word, and he finally realized, you know, after 40 days in the wilderness, that he is the Son of God.
As you can see to the Rainbows, Jesus is kind of all over the board. He means so many different things, but mostly he means love, and that's what they're trying to talk about. And in reality, that's what the Rainbows need. They have been disillusioned by the church, disillusioned by secular humanists, and it's a battle, it's a struggle for them. But if they understand Jesus in a very real way, in a very loving way, and they understand who he is and his message, they'll come to know him. But to be honest, their beliefs aren't very different from America today. See, 11% of America believes that God is some kind of the highest form of human potential. And 8% believe that it is the total realization of man at his perfection. And 3% believe that we're all God. You see, to the Rainbows, there's no such thing as sin, there's no such thing as evil, there's just whatever feels good, do it. As long as you take care of the earth, all is well. How can these people be reached? And who can reach them? We'll answer these questions and more when we return with more of Rescuers. Welcome back to Rescuers, and we are in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, a place of beauty and culture, just a wonderful place even to take a vacation. But to hundreds of thousands of people around the United States and around the world, this is a spiritual vortex, a place of cleansing, a place where they can tap into the power of Mother Earth, or a place where they can be cleansed and help cleanse Mother Earth at the same time. These are a very different group of people of free love, free sex, people where there is no evil, all is good and all is God. But who can reach these people, and how?
The way that we use music is we use the music to draw people, to bring people in, because music is kind of a common language, but it's a spiritual thing, and what they're seeking here is spiritual energy. It's not just energy, it's spiritual energy, and so they're sensitive to it. These are people seeking spiritual things. And the music, the way we present it, which is not preaching, which is not thumping people over the head with Bibles, it is, we go somewhere spiritually. We call in the Holy Spirit, and when that spirit is there, but we do it without speaking Christianese. We try to be musically relevant, something that, when I say relevant, is something that spiritually happens there, that takes place, that they can feel, they know is there, and they do, and they know when they sense it, and they come, and then we're very real and very transparent with them.
As a family, on a beautiful weekend like this, they could be out doing all kinds of things. So why do they do this?
It started out as just a walk of obedience, just trying to be and do what it is God, I believe, has called us to be and do as Christians. Take care of the least of these, and you've done it unto Him. Take care of the defenseless, the homeless, and as an act of obedience, when we found these homeless people when we were doing our outreaches, we thought we were just going to spread Christianity and get people saved, but we found homeless people and we started feeding them. Then we found that as we reached these people, these were drug addicts. They needed more help. They needed discipleship. So we got involved in drug rehab ministry. Then by the time we got to the Rainbow and Wiccans and witches and stuff, it was totally an act of obedience.
Kind of our motto, since we've been doing ministry in Asheville, is like what St. Francis of Assisi said, where you say preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary use words. And that's kind of what we do at most of our outreaches, is just a lot of loving people and showing them, who Jesus really was.
A lot of times these people are very intelligent, and they went to school, they've searched the world over to find something, and all they need is Jesus. But they have images of Him that are opposite of what He is. So I feel like my heart is to reach those people with the true message of Christ.
Linda's the mom of all 8 of these kids, and you would think as a mom she'd be a little nervous about allowing her kids to hang out with a potentially dangerous crowd. Well, Linda's been around this for a bit.
We do get in situations sometimes where you might have somebody that's drunk or something that comes in, but we have people in place in the ministry that they're geared to, like, okay, then, somebody's sent specifically to minister to this person, and they're kind of kept separate in those areas. So it's different every situation, but I wouldn't change any of it. The Lord has just grown each of the children into their own place in the ministry. Each one has something that they're a part of, like Joshua takes care of sound equipment, Bo takes care of loading and setting up this and that, and Danielle's the coordinator and organizer of things, and Jessica always helps with the children, even right down to Grace. Everybody has a job of, well, you can set this up on this table, or you can help serve this food, or you can pass out the crackers, or whatever it is. And you don't have to be afraid of the big bad biker because he's tattooed and big and ugly, because he's a person just like you and me. He has the same hurts, he has the same broken heart, and that's what the Lord wants all of us to do in this, is just come to a place where we can relate to everyone on some level or another. And sometimes the Lord uses the children to be what breaks the heart of this big tough person that nobody else could reach.
They all work very hard to do what they're doing, and the question is it effective? Are they making a difference? Well, we're going to hear from some that have never seen an event like this before, to some that have been around for a while, to find out if this is effective. We'll be right back with Rescuers after this. Welcome back to Rescuers. We're here in Asheville, North Carolina, where there's kind of a collision happening, a spiritual collision between those that are here for the spiritual vortex and those that are here to bring Jesus. Both do it through music and through dance, but one does it where a cleansing comes for eternity, and the other does it that leads to bondage. The rainbows are all about free love, free sex, free drugs, whatever, but dealing with the environment. And it seems like freedom for a season, but it leads to bondage. But you know what? Let me allow Glenn to describe them better.
Because these are really smart kids. These are, and you'd be surprised, there's a thing here we call trustafarians. These kids have trust funds. They come out of well-to-do families. They're intellectuals, they're really smart, and they have money, but they're living on the streets because they're don't want anything else to do with Babylon. We're finished with it.
Glenn and Linda and the kids reach out with food and music, but is it effective? Well, these rainbows have never been in this type of event before.
I'm so pleased that there are people out there who took their tradition and were nourished by it and are, spreading good vibes.
Thank you again.
The fact that these people, are sharing Jesus with people the way that they know Jesus to be.
Yeah.
Like, I can dig that because that's how I know Jesus to be, I guess.
Everyone can feel it if it's presented in a way that's communicative like this, like bringing people together rather than like setting them apart.
Yeah.
This is refreshing because it's Christian oriented, and there are a lot of denominations here, I'm sure.
Because this is what Christianity means, and this is what Jesus' love means,
They ate, they hung around all day, and had the chance to share the gospel with them, had the chance to pray with them, and so did others. And because I don't want you to worry about that, but the thing about rainbows that you need to understand is that they're anti-establishment. And if I put the camera in their faces while I was sharing Jesus with them and praying for them, well, that would have just to them, that would have just been commercialism. That would have just been making Jesus commercial. But to be able to share with them one-on-one and just let the love of Jesus come through had an impact. Now, I'd love to sit here and say that every person that I've shared the gospel with has immediately responded and come to know Jesus, but it hasn't. The Bible tells us that some plant, some water, but it's the Lord that brings the harvest. And I know that with this situation, the Lord will bring the harvest. So I'd encourage you, as you've seen these rainbows and the others in this program, encourage you to pray for them, that the Lord will bring the harvest. Now, Glenn and Linda do more than just sow seed at these events. They also encourage others to go out and to do the same thing.
Being around people who aren't afraid to do God's work has really helped us to be more bold and not fear when it comes to being rejected. And there's so many things that come with being ministers that now we're not afraid.
Iron sharpens iron, and so Glenn's like a sharpening stone for me, and he's real helpful in providing not only fellowship, but an environment in which my ministry can thrive.
They were some of the first people that I met that were, people from church that I would say that I trusted, that were real people that were willing to reach out to me. And
met Glenn, I really didn't know what I was looking for, and I had some experience with religion and Jesus, but I just never knew the love part. And I just saw his family there, and they showed me a lot of love, and really just showed me that there was more to life.
Literally thousands have come to know Jesus Christ as Lord through Glenn and Linda Clark and the family, and thousands more have been encouraged to do the same and to have an impact. But I just want to encourage you, when we're talking about these difficult groups, whether they be rainbow or homeless or Wiccans or witches or lesbians or homosexuals, these are people that have been hurt. And it's not just quick 3 scriptures that will lead them to Jesus. What they're looking for is someone that will love them, someone that will be Jesus' hands extended, Jesus in flesh, so to speak. And you can be that. And it's just a matter of taking time and investing your life and saying, you know what, maybe this scripture needs to be lived out in your life. Maybe I need to show you that it's not so much about the things that I do. The Apostle Paul wrote, that, you know what, it's not about prophecy, it's not about words of knowledge, it's not about any of those things. It might not be about the things that you do as much as the love that you have, because the greatest is love. And I just encourage you to take some time and to see how you can be Jesus' hands extended, how you can love someone, how you can impact their lives by just sharing the love of Jesus. It can be something as simple as giving a glass of water, spending some time. Go to a senior citizen center and spend some time with someone. You see someone that is rejected and someone that's hurting, rather than beating them up again with your tough words or with a tough situation. Share the love of God with them. Let them see Jesus in you. You've got him in you. Let him pour out from you into others. You know, the seeds that you sow will bring a harvest. But sometimes it takes time, and it's the Lord who brings the harvest. So I encourage you, take some time, pour out the love of God, and you too can become a rescuer. Until next time, this is Tim Bergen for The Rescuers.
Usually we're down here and we'll just hang out outside. We'll have a group of people with us. We'll go in and we'll buy their coffee, our coffee and stuff, buy their stuff and hang out, and just a lot of the kids will come and start talking, and we'll start talking and just hang out with them, just love on them. Most of them had met us through our events we were already doing, and that's really how the ongoing ministry works here to reach them. It's not something you're going to just do overnight with a lot of the pagan kids. These are really smart kids. These are that people really, really don't care about how much you know. What they want to know is how much you care. And we found that especially in outreaches like this, and in America, in this mission field, you know, they've heard it all. They've seen it all. They've seen everything there is about Christianity. Heard it and seen it, and but what we're doing is showing them something.
To show people that Jesus is really good, and because he died on the cross to wash away all our sins.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.